Okay, got my suit, got my tie, got my... whatever the hell this thing is. Anyway, hey everybody, Tekking101 here, and welcome to another episode of Sorry Guys, I Screwed Up. And of course I am referring to the scene at the end of last chapter when we saw Rukia and Renji free fall down from the Soul Palace back into the Vante. We got a close-up shot of Rukia's face, and not just me, I'm not the only one who made this mistake, other people made the mistake as well, but if you were just to glance at this image, you would immediately think, oh, Rukia lost an eye, because it looks like the right side of her face is all bandaged up. But no, what really it was, and what I got told numerous times in the comments section of that video, was she was wearing ski glasses or goggles or skydiving goggles, of course, because of the wind resistance, because they're falling down from the sky. But I just want to say, okay, I get you. I get where you're going with that, because the sun, they even mentioned that the sun was setting. So the sun was setting from this angle, so the glare from the sun would, of course, made it look like the right side of her face is whited out. But Koobs, you couldn't express that a lot better. You had to just white out the entire right side of her face. I mean, you couldn't add maybe a little, like a spot of glare or anything. You just had to completely white it out. I know that's your style. I know that's how you do things, but once again, if you were to just look at this glance and you didn't notice that the rim of her face was covered with the goggles, you would just assume she lost an eye. So, I was wrong, they were goggles. This will probably live on in infamy as one of my biggest mistakes I've ever made in this damn show. Whatever, they were goggles. Hey everybody, Tekking101 here to review Bleach chapter number 559 in time. Wait, stop. 559. Oh my god, is it... holy shit, I just got this. 559. 100 chapters ago, chapter 459 marks the anniversary of Rukia! I just got that. That's awesome. Go watch that review. It's one of my most famous ones. So yeah, I had to throw that in there for old time's sake. But anyway, so chapter starts off with Haschwalth of all people. Yeah, I haven't seen him in a while, right? Well, he's still in conflict with Shunsui and Nanao over, I guess, where the 1st Division barracks were located. And when I say in conflict with, I mean really just standing behind Nanao's barrier, talking to himself, stating that the course of the battle seems to be in flux. Well, dude, Haschwalth, if the battle's in flux, all you gotta do is reverse the polarity of the neutron flow. Duh! For some reason, I feel like making a lot of Doctor Who references in this video. I don't know why. Shunsui agrees with Haschwalth that the battle could go either way, and Haschwalth reveals that his role in the battle is actually... Wait, stop. Okay, go back. Okay, there's something about this panel that doesn't sit right. Looks like Shunsui, but something appears to be... oh! Okay! You know what? I don't really know how to call this one. I want to say it's an artistic mistake by Kubo, because that's actually happened before. I redirect you back to chapter 499, where the front cover of the chapter had Ichigo in his regular Bankai when it should have been his full-bring Bankai, and that was even stated to be an artistic mistake. Kubo wasn't even trying to cover up that, oh, this is revealing something. No, he literally just done goofed and drew Ichigo like that. So, I don't know really how to call this, and you really can't even say, like, oh, maybe the eye patch is on the other side. No, I double backed and checked this. I like triple check this shit. I went back to, chapter 515. I went to other points in this chapter where we see his other eyes are shown. So, yeah. And the thing is, even back in chapter 547, after the break ended, we got to see when Haschwalth first arrived with Shunsui at the 1st Division barracks, which in the time frame of this fight would have only been about 3 hours or so. Actually, that's something else. The way that this battle's been going on. Didn't Ichibei say it's been going on for 3 hours? So does that mean that Haschwalth and Shunsui have literally just been standing in the same room looking at each other with Nanao's barrier for 3 fucking hours? If that's the case, these guys have got to have enough patience to watch the Taj Mahal dry. But that's neither here nor there. The main point is, where the fuck did the eye patch go? I mean, Because you can't even really argue this. You can't say like, oh, it got magically healed, or oh, his eye was fine and he just took it off. It's just, it was there when Haschwalth first got there, and it's not there anymore. Maybe the governor took it so he could go on set with The Walking Dead Season 4. I don't have any idea. So, continuing anyway, Haschwalth states that they kind of already expected the battle that would be in flux for a while, and that's the whole reason he went to the 1st Division barracks in the first place, in order to tip the balance of the fight. Balance. Haschwalth. Sternritter B. Oh my god, I got it! Haschwalth is Sternritter B! Breaking Bad! Yeah, I get it, because Breaking Bad, chemistry, balance of certain chemicals needed to gain the optimal... No, that's not what it means. Damn it, Kubo! Your layers of literary complexity could trump even Faust! It's crazy! Alright, anyway, I guess Shunsui realizes that, oh shit, Haschwalth's actually gonna freaking do something now, so he steps in front of Nanao because it's time for the big boys to play, and window explodes, and then we get the explanation of exactly how he broke through the barrier. He stated that the entire time they were standing there, which may or may not have been 3 hours, he was steadily siphoning off the Ryatsu from the barrier on his side because, of course, Quincy's can absorb Ryatsu. However, Nanao planned this because that's the whole reason that Nanao made the barrier, because Kido was apparently useless against Sternriders because they can just absorb Ryatsu. So, Nanao stated, yeah, okay, you can absorb the Ryatsu from your side, but all the time while you're doing that, I'm strengthening on this side. So, translated, basically, Nanao wanted to say, oh, Haschwalth, you thought you pwned me? Well, I pwned you right back. I double pwned you, Hash. I'm gonna go smoke some hash. I can't believe it took me this long to make that joke. Anyway, she throws up an even more powerful hexagonal barrier, and she even states that. Doesn't this barrier look a little bit weaker? Because instead of being one solid structure, this one's broken up into hexagonal segments, and it's apparently thinner. Haschwalth even agrees with it that, yeah, you know, because this is all separate areas, this looks like it would be a lot easier to break through, but because you went out of your way to mention it now, of course, he's going to know that that's not really how weak it is, and it's probably a lot stronger than the previous one. God damn it! You're lieutenant of the 8th Division. You are apparently, I mean, Kubo even goes out of his way to heighten the fact that you are one of the more intelligent characters in this entire series. How can you be this stupid? I mean, it's literally like if you're a little kid and you're playing a video game and you find out some way to beat the video game, like you figure out the one point that you have to hit the final boss or whatever, and you're the only one that knows this, and you feel so superior because everyone else failed and you knew the one way to defeat them, but then you go up to all your friends and like, hey guys, I bet you don't know how to beat that boss. All you have to do is hit him right in the shoulder, and you'll be like, oh, okay, thanks, man. And then go, wait, no, I didn't mean that. I'm damn it. That's literally how you are now. Anyway, so Haschwalth is about to have an idea to break the barrier. He pulls out his sword and he states that you'll have to allow me to take more violent means. Oh yeah, Bleach Chapter 559. Haschwalth does something. Maybe. But whatever he is about to do gets interrupted by a blast in the background. He turns around, and I originally thought this was like another burst of a Volt standing because it kind of looks like that, but no, he turns around, I guess it's like a signal fire. And he states that His Majesty is calling for him and he needs to return to the Silburn immediately. Ah, Silburn, yes. This phrase is brought to you by the Tekking Needs to Learn German Foundation. Donate today, it's a really lost cause. And for the next couple of panels, all it really is Haschwalth stating, I need to leave, and Shunsui stating, oh, you're not leaving already? And he's like, yes, I am. Well, are you going to come back? Well, maybe, I don't know. He's like, okay, I'll make sure to keep a cup of tea on for you. It is like, it's the most laid-back way you can threaten somebody, but for Shunsui, I guess it works. Whatever. Anyway, Haschwalth leaves, and then we get the true title page of the chapter, Bleach 559, The Night Right. We cut over to Ikaku and Yumachika, forgot their names for a second, because we haven't seen these guys in forever, who state that it's finally night in the Seirite, and they were confused because earlier it didn't seem like night, but apparently it was just overcast, and yes, so night has fallen, and they're making a big deal about this. Haven't you noticed that from last chapter when Rukia was falling, and she was like to Renji, she's like, night's gonna fall soon, and now Ikaku's mentioning it, and he even brings up the fact that because it's nighttime now, and because the moon's out, there's gonna be a lot more shadows, and he has a feeling that the shit's really gonna hit the fan here. You know, I don't really know any more way they could make this even more worse. I mean, maybe they could do the whole Soldat thing earlier, like they could bring in the troops of the Vandenreich now because there's more shadows, so maybe there's even more of an invading army, but, you know, at this point, the shit's kind of already hit the fan. I don't really know how it could get much worse than that. Shuhei appears from behind them, and he originally appears in the visage of a shadow, so I was getting to the point like, oh, okay, are we gonna do, like, the shadow doppelganger enemies, like they're gonna have to fight their own colleagues. I don't know. Maybe that's where they're going with that. I think it's just a thing with Shuhei. But anyway, he shows up and he states that he didn't know where he was because everything got turned around because the Vandente has been warped here. And Ikkaku goes on to warn him that they should stay put and they shouldn't tread so easily into the shadows, because if they lurk in the shadows, they can appear out of nowhere. And maybe that's what he meant. Maybe that's why, because the shadows are where they hide. They could pop out in any area. They don't have to be obvious. And he even stated that they can't sense the Ryatsu with the whole Vandente and the abundance of the Quincy's particles are like messing with their sense of sensing Ryatsu. So yeah, they figured just to stay and bunker down here until they come up with a plan. Of course, this is all broken away when Maste Masculine charges in for a atomic drop. So we cut back over to the Sternritter Palace, which may or may not be called a Silburn, where we see BG9 and Kangdu under restraints and states that the judgment of the defeated will now commence. Really? That's why you had to leave in the middle of a fight, was because you had to punish these two? Okay. Okay. I'm not going to complain that Haschwalth is, like, executing his own soldiers, because up to this point, that's kind of what we came to expect from Haschwalth. I mean, from Juha, that's just kind of what he does. But in the middle of a battle, I mean, that's like in the middle of D-Day, invasion of Normandy Beach, where, you know, the Americans and the other, you know, members of the Allied forces charge onto Normandy Beach, and they start getting gunned down by a bunch of Nazis, and, you know, some Americans kill some Nazis, and then halfway through the fight, a big horn sounds, and it's just like, okay, everybody, stop! Stop, okay? Siegfried over here got tagged in the leg, so he lost, so we're gonna take him in the back and shoot him in the back of the head. So you guys just hang tight. We'll be right back. We're just gonna take all our forces back here. Just boom, boom, okay, we're good. Continue. You know, that doesn't seem like an apt military stratagem, but whatever. Haschwalth pretty much has got, I mean, I keep saying Haschwalth. Yuha pretty much has the control over the Vandente at this point, so I guess this makes sense to him, but whatever.
Please wait, Master. We did lose in battle, but we were resurrected with Air 46. With resurrected with the Volt Jing release. We can still exterminate on your behalf, Majesty. Error number 4862198721846. Please tell your technical operator at 314621894642321.
Well, for the love of God, please unplug this thing. Oh crap, Red Ring of Death. Okay, we gotta call the 800 number, Yuha. Hey, look at it this way, at least he's not smoking. You know, it's funny here that between the two of them, Kangdu and BG9, it is BG9 that's actually shouting more and pleading more with Yuha, despite him being like a robot or a cyborg or Dalek or whatever, and the one that's more stoic and reserved is Kangdu. So this gets me to believe like maybe he really isn't a robot completely, because a robot wouldn't have any sense of, you know, like he's obviously concerned about dying or being punished by Yuha, so obviously he wouldn't be a complete robot if that was the case. You know, and I actually had to double check back and check, like, are you sure this is BG9 saying this and not Kangdu? Because it would make way more sense for BG9 to be the silent one in all this. And just be like, I accept any punishment, Master. Boom. Okay, roll out BG10. You know, how that goes. So Haschwalth walks over to BG9 and Kangdu and states that the scales of battle must be balanced. Alright, there, another hint. Okay, okay. Haschwalth, Jugram Haschwalth, okay, B, okay, square root of 182. Okay, alright, I got this, okay. Jugram Haschwalth, Sternritter B, the Batman. Ah, so close. Alright, I'm getting there. Just bear with me, alright? I'm getting there. He then raises his sword and brings it down upon Kangdu, which stops it by materializing a bunch of iron on his body. Kangdu reaffirms the fact that I am Kangdu the Iron, and a blade of that level will not hurt me. Yeah, the iron, like that attack we didn't get to see against Toshiro. That would have been really useful against him, you think? Just to materialize iron, like coat your entire body in it like the T-1000? Yeah, that's not useful against an ice guy, of course not. And Kangdu states that he will not be killed by anyone except for His Majesty, which you think that this could be, I mean, you're still gonna die. I mean, it's just like, you ought to be like, oh, okay, whatever, give me the sword, Haschwalth. Okay, there you go. BG9, you're done. You know, whatever. I mean, he sounds really badass when he states this, but really, it doesn't really go anywhere. Which Haschwalth states that this is yet another second show of good fortune on his part, and he materializes a giant set of scales behind his body. Kangdu sees this and is visibly horrified. Okay, wait. This can only mean Jugram Haschwalth, Sternritter B, Whimsicott. Yeah, okay, sorry. I've kind of had Pokemon on my mind in the past couple of days. Alright, he's Sturmitter B the Balance. I've milked this joke enough. I apologize for those of you that were annoyed by that. And just to go off on a tangent here before I exactly state what happens with King, I think that this has the potential to be one of the big OP powers of Bleach. And I also believe now why Ugram Haschwalth has been kind of regarded as the second command of the Vondenreich, and, you know, like, he's kind of like Yuha's right-hand man, and he was supposed to, you know, succeed Yuha as the Emperor. I think everyone understands that now, because the balance is kind of one of those powers which, even if no matter what battles he's in, he would be able to tip the scales. Like, for example, let's say he gets into a fight with somebody, and he's able to defeat them using his own power without using his balance abilities. Okay, that's great. But let's say he's in a fight with somebody that is actually stronger than him and actually tries to beat him down. Using the balance powers, he can perceivably tip the scales back in his favor. I mean, if that's just how these powers work, like he can just control the balance of anything, I mean, we can even go beyond now. We can go like he can control the balance of life and death. And, like, maybe take all the Sternritters that have died and resurrect them in return for all the Shinigami that have lived. You know, maybe something like that. Once again, it hasn't exactly been stated what this attack can do, but he was fairly sure he could break through Nanau's barrier using it, and he was fairly, and it's like a possession by Yuha, because Yuha would call him back from the battle just to execute these two Sternritters. That's a big deal. So, we don't exactly know what else it is, what it can do, but other than that, Haschwalth has the Millennium Scales, so frickin' run for the hills, people. So after activating the scale ability, Haschwalth is able to cut cleanly right through King Du, right down the middle, despite his iron abilities, which gives credence to believe, like, oh, okay, I hit you, so it didn't work. Well, I can tip the scales so it will work. Or so your defenses are weak enough and my attack is high enough. Maybe something along those deals. We don't get to see what happens after that. I really would have wished we could have seen more, but yeah, I think they're going to explain this later on, or at least maybe this is a good chapter in terms of exposition, because it gave us just enough information to hypothesize exactly what it can do, what its full potential is, what kind of applications this has for battle, what applications this has outside of battle. It just gives us enough of this, and then it moves on. So a quick scene, we cut over to where Maste Masculine was fighting against Shuhei, Ikaku, and Yumichika, and he elbow stomps down one of them. I think it was Shuhei, and he declares himself the winner, and he states that his little gremlin buddy sex imp James ringing the bell, so he's really just kind of like a pro wrestler, a luchador. It'd be funny if this James guy was like Sternritter lowercase s, you know, James. If the Sternritters each had like an understudy that was the lowercase of their letter. I mean, that would be totally expansive. I'm just saying, you know, could be a thing. It could be like the Fraxion from the Espada. That's an idea. Maste Masculine strikes an epic pose and states that they've pretty much taken care of every Shinigami that was about captain level. And that would probably even include Toshiro and Soifon, because, yeah, even though they were able to defeat their respective Sternritters, they're still out of the fight. They're not going to be able to come back. So, I don't know. We still know. It's so weird that they should say that, because we still don't know the statuses of so many captains. We don't know really about Mayori yet. We don't know what, well, Shunsui we know is fine. Ukitaki we know nothing about. Kensei we know nothing about. I guess, well, yeah, okay, Shinji got knocked out of the fight, Koma's out of the fight, Iba's still in the fight, and this is captain level, so usually when they're talking about captain level, they're also including lieutenants when they say that, but yeah, I'm not really sure about. So Mask is about to say something else, but he's distracted by two bright flashes in the sky, and he turns around, and we see Rukia and Renji arriving, also striking epic poses, and then we get the, oh my god, wait, oh my god, look at Rukia's face! She has no eyes now! No! Damn you, Kubo! Why do you have to keep ripping her? Okay, that's not funny. You know where I was going with that. She's wearing goggles. Whatever. It's gonna haunt me forever. Alright, so they finally arrive, and that's where the chapter ends. So, I already talked a little bit about, you know, Haschwalth's balance ability, so I'm not going to go too more into that. Something I was going to mention here, but because she wasn't in this chapter, I really couldn't, was Bambietta, because there was a big theory going around in the forums and the YouTube community that Bambietta's little clique of high school girls that she always hangs around with are actually split personalities. And I was going to mention this here, but she didn't even show up in the chapter, so it felt kind of like shoehorned to put in, and I'm not even really going to discuss it at length here. There's a bunch of people that made videos about it. So go check that out, and yeah, I'll link some stuff below to that. I might make a video about it if I feel like it, but really, I originally thought like that was a stupid idea, that they could be all, you know, parallel personalities, because, you know, I was thinking like, okay, if they're personalities and they only exist within Bambietta, then how do they still have lettering systems given to them by Yuha? But then I started thinking like, well, maybe Yuha is aware of this. Maybe it is aware of Bambietta's personalities and did give every one of them a letter, so that they're that powerful, they're that independent. So, that's an idea, and I consider it a viable theory. So as for Rukia and Renji finally arriving, obviously their power is going to be much more at a greater length than... So now with Rukia and Renji arriving, I'm not sure exactly what they're going to want to do. I mean, you'd think Rukia would have probably immediately want to go and check on Ukitake, her captain, to make sure, how he's doing, because we haven't seen him pretty much at all in this fight. And Renji would probably fight against Maste Masculine anyway, because that's the guy that kind of beat him down last time, so I can see a grudge match there. We can finally see... I can't really see Maste Masculine's power being any really expanse. I mean, did we ever get what his letter meant? I know he was S, and it probably just stands for the strong man or the strength. I never really got much beyond that. But I can't really see his powers being that, like the fear was, like that can mess with your mind. It's probably just brute strength for the most part. So I can see Renji conquering him, because in terms of brute strength, I think Renji probably got a lot stronger, because he's not really a Keto type either. So it's probably just going to be, brute strength versus brute strength. And I hope we finally get to see his Bankai. I haven't seen his Bankai in forever. But there's that. Going back to what was going on with, what was at the beginning of this chapter with Shunsui and now, I don't know what they're going to plan on doing now. If they're just going to sit there and watch everything going on, because I guess they were kind of keeping Haschwalth at bay. Maybe that's why you can say they were all just standing there staring at each other, because they knew Haschwalth was really powerful, and they thought, okay, we're going to keep him at bay here in this barrier, and now that he's gone, I don't know if they're just going to go into the battle themselves, or if they're going to refine something. Maybe Nanao can go out and buy something called a freaking clue, maybe something like that. But other than that, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Tekking101, signing out. Happy Thanksgiving if you live in America. If you don't, still happy Thanksgiving. Go eat something meaty and covered in gravy, because that shit's awesome. Laters.